So hello Capricorn, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racey, and I'm going to be giving the message for you today. It is a general message, so take it as it resonates and leave it if it doesn't. If it doesn't, don't force it to fit. There's plenty of other wonderful readers on YouTube that just might resonate more with your vibe at this time. For those of you not familiar with me or the channel, I do use profanity. I talk about adult things. I don't sugarcoat my messages, and I certainly don't filter them as they come out of my mouth. So if that is not your thing, or you have kids around, or you just don't appreciate that kind of a reading, I respect that. I'm always giving you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, I was guided, guys, to make sure that I made it known to check your other planetary placements and what signs they fall in, so that when you look at these zodiac readings, you can get a really good overall picture of how all of these energies are pertaining to your particular personal experience, okay? Especially your Vulcan placement. If you don't know what your Vulcan placement is your divine spiritual protection within. It is your fail-safe, right? It's your spiritual, unconditionally loving fail-safe button. That's your Vulcan. That's your best advice, right? So if you know your Vulcan placement, you can watch your Vulcan sign. If you don't know what it is, Astro Gold is a great app that does track Vulcan's movements. And if you don't have it or can't get it, you can hit me up in my email. It's in the description box below. And just send me your birth details, date, time, location, and I have Astro Gold. So I'll just plug it in and I'll take a screenshot and send it to you so that you know what your Vulcan placement is. All right, getting into it. I have my Vice Versa Tarot, my Romance Angel Oracle cards, my Power of Love deck that I'm using as my Remember deck, and my Whispers of Love deck that I'm using as an action card, okay? So here we go, Cap. Give me 3 cards, Spirit, please, for Capricorn and Capricornian energies for February. 3 cards for Capricorn and Capricornian energies for February. And 3 cards for Capricorn for February. I'm instantly feeling, Cap, like you feel like there's so much work to do, but there's really not. Yeah, you just got to move away from heartbreak. It feels harder than it is. All right, top of the deck, we do have the 8 of Wands. So Spirit is communicating to you clearly. This is Cupid's arrow card. You're being drawn to a particular, you might be being drawn to a particular person, especially because the Queen of Fire is on the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Wands. She does have her eyes closed. She is completely grounded. Her bare feet are on the ground. She's in the woods, she's in nature, she's in the elements of Gaia, she's a manifesting machine, right? The Queen of Fire is a manifesting machine, the Queen of Wands, and she's focused, and I feel like you're getting the spiritual guidance to communicate whatever it is. With the Knight of Coin, the 3 of Coin, and the Knight of Wands, we have all nighttime cards and an indoor card, right? All nighttime cards, which means you might be thinking about moving forward. You might be thinking about communicating with a passion, right? Spirit is giving you this divine communication, because if you look at the back of this 8 of Wands, you can see the lightning on there too. Oh wow, underneath the 8 of Wands on the top of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords and the Death card and 3 of Cups with the King of Wands. So there you go, and we have the 9 of Wands under that. So you might have someone that was, or dealing with someone, it could be your energy or someone else, but it's dealing with someone whose energy was maybe non-committal in the past, and let someone go that was single when really they're the only one, right? They're the only option. There's no competition. And now they're alone and they're single because the king couldn't commit to the queen, right? The King of Fire couldn't commit to his counterpart. And so the truth with the Ace of Swords needs to come in order to transform things with the Death card. All right, communication is needed. Communication is needed. That's why you feel like it's so much harder than it is. I feel like you have all of this guidance, this inner guidance, right, with these nighttime cards, all these thoughts about communicating, all these thoughts about progress, but feeling stuck, feeling like you're bound to a certain contract, feeling like you're bound to a certain situation, and you're not bound, you're not tied to it. Okay, there might be more work to be done in it, regarding it, but you're not bound to it. Okay, there's a difference. You can continue working on something, but not being stuck in it. Like, you might have children with one person, but be in love with somebody else. You know what I mean? So you're not actually bound to the situation that you have children with. And I'm just making this as an example, okay? It doesn't have to have anything to do with kids. But as an example, you might think you're bound to it when everything in your being is kind of telling you to move forward and let it go and make real changes. You can still help the children, you can still help the baby mama or the, you know, baby daddy, whatever. You can still help them improve themselves or their life, but you don't have to stay stuck in it if it's also keeping you stuck. Right? Because with this Knight of Wands, I think you know that you have to move forward. You're getting this ping from the divine to move forward, to let something go, to start your life, to start it with a passion. And what the underlying energy is, it's clarifying, is the Three of Swords, which means you might be terrified of heartbreak, breaking someone's heart, having your heart broken, which is why you're not moving forward. You're stuck. You're like, no, I might just stay in this this contract, the soul contract that I have wherever I'm at. You know, it could most definitely be a job. You could feel bound to your job, feeling like, you know, you have to, maybe you've been getting pinged to leave your job and change it, and you've been stuck, and the universe is like, hey, like, you need to move, you know. Or maybe it's heartbreaking to leave the job, and maybe one person's telling you to leave it, and the other person's like, you don't have to, and you really don't want to. So it's like, you gotta choose, Capricorn, what's best for you. And if you've got someone who's a manifesting fucking machine, who is your divine counterpart, really, with the Four of Coin in the back base that just fell exposed, right, with the Seven of Wands, you have to defend yourself and start seeing a clear picture and not put your feet to the fire holding up something that's just a labyrinth in your mind that makes no fucking sense. You're just literally letting yourself burn when there's something much more stable out there. You have a window of opportunity with this Queen of Wands to communicate, because I'm hearing, like, right now they're still single. Right now they're still single. Or they would most definitely not mind being single in order to start over, whatever it is, because I don't feel like they're going to stay single. If they are single, I don't feel like they're going to stay single. I don't feel like they're going to stay single. This independent Nine of Wands energy, this only one where there's no competition, right? The King of Wands knows it's the only one that will completely transform them, that the truth sets them free. Capricornian energy. I think you need to override whatever it is that is keeping you stuck, whatever you feel contracted to or bound to, and just let it go, and move forward. And move forward. Despite any heartbreak energy that may be floating around within yourself or the environment or other people. I think you gotta just do you, boo. Straight up. You just gotta do you. You're not bound to anything. You're not bound to anything, not even an apartment. You know what I mean? Like, you can up and leave, so you lose your deposit. So fucking what? So what? Why would you let that keep you from wherever it is you want to be? That if it's going to lead you to heartbreak, if you stay stuck in whatever that contract is. If your heart's going to break, if you can't move forward and you can't go get it, well, what the fuck? Is it really that important to lose the deposit on the apartment? You know what I mean? Like, whatever the contract is that you're afraid to break, fuck it. Fuck it. It's not worth it. You're not actually bound. You think you are, and you're not. And Spirit's letting you know that. Like, don't be the non-committal King of Wands and not have their queen, you know, kind of thing. Don't be the non-committal mind when your heart is manifesting the shit out of something. Because if your heart space, because when we talk about king and queen or masculine and feminine counterparts, like, we're talking about the mind, which is the masculine aspect of self, and the heart space, which is the feminine aspect of self. If your heart space is manifesting the shit out of something and your mind won't let yourself commit to it, you're gonna manifest some crazy thing coming in from the divine to shock the shit out of you, and it's gonna end up breaking your heart because you didn't make the choice of your own free will. The divine had to make it for you. Because your heart space wants what it wants. And if your mind won't let your heart have its way, the divine will come in to just break your mind. To just break your mind. And you might be like, oh shit, you know, like, what do I do now? The divine just totally, you know, swept me up in something. I might be dealing with family issues. Like I was talking about kids, and this card comes out. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. You know, and this goes from, you know, and I talked about it in one of the other readings that it came up in. Our parents might have not wanted to be together, but they stayed together because the kids were more important than their happiness. And that in turn made them miserable, which made our upbringing difficult. Did it not? So why would we stay in a contract with someone who does not make us happy, who causes our children to learn not to put love first, to put themselves first, because nothing is more important than being happy and being loved. Nothing. Teach your kids. Teach the kids. 11:11 on the clock. Like, teach your kids. When you're good for everybody else. When you're not good, you're good to no one. Period. That has to break. That's what the divine is coming in like, yo, you might have to seriously shake some shit up, because if you don't, I will. Your heart's manifesting a certain direction. If you're not taking it, it's because of this false idea that the children and staying together for the children are more important than your happiness. And that's bullshit. There is nothing more important than your happiness, because you're teaching your kids that happiness is important. And that's all we want for our kids. We want our kids to be happy. You ask any parent what they want for their children. I just want them to be happy. I just want them to be happy. Well, then you have to show them how to go get happiness and make happiness happen. You have to be able to show them. If you don't teach them, who is? Who is? Reality check. Reality check, Cap. Shift your perspective. Shift your perspective into self-loving thoughts so that you teach your kids or the kids around you how to love themselves first. There is nothing more important than your happiness. The kids will be better off for it, because they'll be around you in a healthy, happier dynamic with someone else. They're going to enjoy being around you. They're going to learn. They're going to learn what it is like. Yeah. Spontaneity. Break the constraints. Break the constraints. You move beyond the constraints of the mind and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. Embrace the new. Fuck everything you learned. Fuck everything your parents taught you about what's important, what's not important. No, happiness is important. Love is important. And that's what you're going to teach your kids. Move beyond the constraints of the mind. Allow your mind to break and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. Period. Period. Best course of action. Yeah, the union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. You're meant to be with someone else, and if your partner, your husband, or your wife, or your baby mama, or your baby daddy is in the way of that relationship and you're sticking it out for the kids, you are doing yourself and your kids an injustice. Straight up. Straight up. You don't like that message, unsubscribe. Because that's the truth. Go be with the one you love and teach your kids how important that is so that they learn how to thrive. Do what has never been done before. Don't give them your childhood wounds that your parents gave to you. Don't give that to them. Give them better. Give them the best. If you've got a connection of love that defies explanation, this is your green light. Go get it. Just do it. The kids will understand as they get older. They will understand. They're your kids. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to hate you. Even if they're mad at you and they don't understand why and blah, blah, blah. Let it go. You still have to do you and put you first and your heart first, because living in a heartbroken state, getting slammed by the divine, getting hit with the big fuck you stick because you're not making your highest good choices is no fun. It's no fun, and it ripples. It affects everybody. When you're not happy, you get tired, you get stressed out, you get snappy, you get sharp, you get avoidant, you want to disappear, you don't want to be present. Your health gets affected. Seriously, choose better. And teach your kids how to choose better. Heal that shit. Nip it in the butt now. Go be with the love of your life. Go be with the love of your life. All my information is in the description, guys. If you want more from me, until next time, love each other, and most importantly, love yourselves.